So this is the infinite room. It's just kind of like an environment that feels like it just fades off into nothing with a nice gradient in the background. It's very, very basic, very, very good for animation purposes. So all we got to do here is simply, we'll go into, so I'll just go into my layout mode. So we'll jump into modeling mode for a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this plane by hitting X and then delete. Then I'm going to go ahead and drop in a cylinder. And then I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to do add cylinder, and then I'm going to change this over to triangle fan so that we have some triangles to work with right here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything at the top. So face mode, select these, hit X, and then get rid of the faces. And then we're going to do select the bottom, and what we're going to do is we're going to set the origin down here so that we can get it flat on the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and do mesh snap, and then we'll do cursor to selected. I'll go back into object mode by hitting tab. And then we'll do object, set origin, and then origin to 3D cursor. And then from here, we'll simply just set our properties up to be 0. So now we're sitting on the origin nice and clean. So now we can actually model this out. So what we'll do is we'll just go into edit mode. I'm going to go over my edge loop right here, and I'm going to hit I to inset, just like that. I'm going to make this pretty far in like this, and then we'll just do another one like that to make sure that this area right here is going to stay flat. So this is going to be essentially the area that we animate on, and this will kind of like fade out into the background. So going back into object mode, we'll throw a subdivision modifier on this. So subdivision modifier, and then we'll do 3 and 3, and then right click shade smooth. And now we can essentially just scale this up to our scene. So I'll just go ahead and jump into my scale mode. I'm going to scale this up like this. I'll make sure that this is going down something like this, and we'll just scale this up like that. And from here, we'll kind of jump back into animation mode, and we'll kind of just take a look at it. You can see we're getting this really, really bad shadow. So what we want to do here is go back in edit mode, and then I'll jump into my edge mode right here, control click my edge loop right there. And then we'll jump back into scale mode like this, and we'll just scale this up like this. And this is going to essentially get rid of that shadow back there. I'll scale this out. You'll notice that we're getting this really bad clipping plane issue. So I'll just go ahead and fix that by going into my properties by hitting N, and then going to tool, and then we'll just do clip start and end. We'll do something like 5,000, and then we'll just end to close this. And then we'll just kind of tweak this a little bit so that we don't see anything in the background. And then we're getting that really bad specular highlight again. So I'll go back to my shading mode and then simply grab that material that we were using before with the no specularity right there. And there we go. Now we're all set up to do an Eevee render. So all we have to do is simply go to render. We'll do render animation. This is going to overwrite our previous animation. So if we wanted to version up, all we have to do is come back in here and change this version. So for me, when I'm working on projects, I just keep versioning up over and over and over. So I'll have like dozens and dozens and dozens of the same animation tweaked over and over. So I'll just render animation. We'll let that play through. And there we go, it's finished up, and then I'll just simply go to render, view animation. And there we go, not too bad for our first test run with our animation. You'll notice that we're going to be missing something. There's no actual motion blur on this. This is a limitation currently within Eevee. It only does camera-based motion. So when we get to our jet and all that kind of stuff, it's going to work really, really well. But right now, since it's only object-based movement that's happening, the camera's not actually moving, there's no motion blur. There is going to be a little bit of a bonus chapter next, which we'll use an add-on to be able to achieve that.